Live from Muscle Cat Studios, it's Curt Can't Talk.
That's right, it is. Hello, everybody on the internet. You caught me off guard there. The name's changed, Jimbo. I knew it. We'd planned it. We'd queued it up. We've done the rebrand, and still, it surprised me. Curt Can't Talk. That's the show. I'm even struggling to say it myself. Muscle Cat Sport Show. That's what this used to be. To all of our regulars, hello, welcome back. Happy New Year. We are back for 2026. Same people in the studio. Same producer Jim, you know and love. Same me. Different name, slightly different format, which we'll get into in a second, but we're still here taking your calls, listening to you all in the chat, which I think has started already, a little bit of Philadelphia Eagles. I wouldn't say sympathy, I'd say it's the exact opposite. A couple of guys that are very happy to see the Eagles bundled out of the NFL playoffs today, but this is the live show, Monday nights. It's good to be here, Muscle Cat Studios. I'm Curt. We've got producer Jim there. Jimbo, let's get you a pretty face on screen for the first time in 2026. Happy New Year, my friend.
You too.
Are you moving on your screen? Because you've got just a still shot of yourself there, just a selfie you took earlier. Is that?
No, I'm dead still.
Jimbo, he's a ventriloquist. He's been working on that skill over the summer. There you go. Well, look, I'll explain the differences in the show before we get into it. And there's one thing that stayed exactly the same, and that is that this is a call-in show. There is a link in the description of this video on YouTube. You click more and see what the show's all about. There's a link, a VDO link. You click on that, and it takes you to the browser, and it's like an easy version of Zoom. You don't have to sign up for anything. You just put your name in, and you go into the waiting room, and Jimbo lets you in when it is ready to go. That's the crux, that's the core, the main part of the show, you guys talking to us. We've had plenty of callers towards the back end of last year. We did 10 or 11 episodes, and that was great. That's the best part of this whole thing, us talking to you. And it doesn't have to be about the certain things I pick out either. It can be about anything to do with sport and even non-sport stuff. So please, give me a buzz, get involved. If you don't want to call in, you can get involved in the chat. There's always a lot of banter going back and forth there. Pretty friendly, generally, unless you ruffle a few feathers, which you're more than welcome to do, so go for it. Welcome, newbies. Welcome, regulars. Great to have you here. The differences, well, there's one more thing that's the same, actually, and that is that this episode is brought to you by Wayne Phyllis Kia. Now, where's the hat? I think I've been wearing the hat out and about lately. I'll get this. Hang on. If you don't have the hat, you have the cooler bag. Wayne Phyllis Kia, the great people down at Ranella, Matt, Laura, and the team, they've looked after us very well. They're a huge reason why this show goes on and why so much of our other stuff works as well, because without sponsors, we wouldn't be able to afford things that make this show great. So they keep us going. We appreciate them. Go down and visit them when you can. The differences in the show for this year. Basically, every week I'm going to pick a few topics that have not riled me, but that I have a strong feeling about one way or the other. And I will give my very strong opinions on those. And it's up to you, the listener, the viewer, to either call in via that link or let us know in the chat what I've gotten right, but more importantly, what I've gotten wrong. We've got a few things today. We're going to talk the Ashes and Bazball and deconstruct that, whether it's been good for cricket. Has Bazball been good for Test cricket in particular? The second thing we'll talk about is Manchester United. Are Man United still a big club? Because I put the question out to you guys, and I'll reveal those results later on. I've got my thoughts on it, and a lot of people in the comments across YouTube, Facebook, Insta, TikTok, we're on all of those under Curt Can't Talk. A lot of people have told me their thoughts one way or the other. And then the other part is the NFL playoffs. It was wildcard weekend, or it has been the last couple of days, and there's one more on tomorrow as well, which is a huge game. Houston and Pittsburgh, huge for a lot of different reasons outside just the normal playoff context. But I'll be asking, is the playoff system in the NFL broken? Divisional winners, even with a losing record, are automatically qualified for playoffs. And we saw one of those scenarios occur this year. And just yesterday when Carolina played the Rams and they lost to them. So we'll go through all of that. Jimbo is furiously scrabbling away in the background. He wouldn't be live YouTube without a couple of technical difficulties, especially a couple of weeks off. So maybe voice your support for Jimbo in the comments. We can't get him up on screen at the moment. Jimbo, have we got our graphics working whilst you sort that out? Because I do want to tell people that, yes, you can get involved. There we go. There's the big three. I'll start with Bazball. That's probably the best place to start. My strong opinion on Bazball, and don't worry, we will get to Jimbo. I know you guys love our normal banter at the top of the show, and he's always got good things to contribute. So once his camera's up and running, I'll get back to him. But I think that Bazball has been great for Test cricket. A lot of people have said it's not, but I think it absolutely has been. Let's recap the Ashes very quickly. It's over for another year. Predictably, perhaps in hindsight, it's domination from the Australians, a 4-1 victory. Not only dominant as a team, but some particular individual performances that brought Australia up and above the standard that English cricket was able to match. We look at Mitch Starc, who was rightly named the man of the series. He carried Australia in those first 2 tests outside of Travis Head's incredible knock in Brisbane. But from a bowling perspective, Starc carried Australia, and his form continued throughout the series. But the first 2 tests in particular were outstanding. Travis Head, we know what he did, 3 centuries, outstanding stuff. Alex Carey was impeccable with the gloves and very good with the bat as well. They had better depth, the Australians. You look at Michael Neser, who is basically the Brad Hodge of bowling, overlooked until his 30s. Every time he plays, he performs. He only really had 1 bad innings out of the 3 test matches he played, and that was the second innings in Melbourne when he got pasted a little in England's only victory. But outside of that, he was outstanding. Bo Webster was brought in for the 5th test and was incredible. You compare that to the depth of the English. Guys like Will Jacks, guys like Matthew Potts, who were embarrassed in various forms on the world stage. Maturity versus insanity and stubbornness. You look at the way that Brendan McCullum ran this team, refused to change game plans even when it wasn't working. Jamie Smith, the shots he got out to. Same with Harry Brook. Same with Ben Duckett. Ben Stokes had some good moments, but his refusal to take Will Jacks out of the attack when he was getting spanked all over the place. His refusal to stop bowling Matthew Potts when he went none for 146 in his only bowling innings in the series. But that's Bazball. That is Brendan McCullum's style. You pick a style, which in his case is all-out attack, and you refuse to change, you refuse to adapt, and you have full faith that it will work. Well, it hasn't worked, because against the 2 superpowers of cricket, India and Australia, in 2 series against each, Bazball has not worked. They haven't won. So the traditionalists were up in arms, right? It's not Test cricket, they said. 2 days, 2 tests finished within 2 days. That's the death of Test cricket. But all this discussion of the death of Test cricket has been, as Mark Twain would say, greatly exaggerated. And I'll tell you why. These are the figures to back up what I'm saying here. Well, firstly, anecdotally, this is not figures yet, but anecdotally, I've never seen or heard so much discussion about Test cricket. I've never seen social media so alight with it. I've never seen Australians quite so proud to destroy the English. I know we always have been, but this has been more than I've ever seen. Facts and figures wise, there were 211,000 people that attended the game at the SCG in a dead rubber. That's a record. That beats a record from the Bradman era. There was a daily average across all tests of 47,000 people in attendance. The viewing figures on Channel 7 were up 12% from last year. The viewing figures on KO were up 112% from the last Australian Ashes series. So why does that happen? How does that happen? In my opinion, the traditionalists showed up and watched on TV to defend traditional Test cricket and to hope for the mockery of Bazball. And the new fans of Test cricket, who like the aggressive style, showed up to enjoy the action and equally to mock Bazball. No matter what side of the spectrum you're on, you can at least agree that Bazball didn't work from a tactical perspective, but it did ignite some discussion. I say all that to say that no matter your thoughts on the way Test cricket is played, you watched it. Tell me I'm wrong. Now, Jimbo. Hey, he's back. Welcome to 2026. That monologue was timed well, man. That was timed well. We should have just rolled into that without mentioning anything.
That's it.
As soon as I wrapped it up, there you are. How you going?
It. Perfect. Wonderful.
What happened there?
Don't know what you're talking about.
I've never seen that in my life.
Oh,
It just froze for no reason.
couldn't tell you. It doesn't matter if you have it ready to go an hour and a half early.
Nope.
It's 5 minutes before that it's going to go cactus.
That's right. Well, welcome. You can rest easy now.
Yep.
Everyone in the chat, Jimbo's back. For anybody new watching, this is producer Jim. We have, Jimbo, had a very good 4 weeks. Our socials have, well, I would say 8 weeks. Our socials have gone crazy. We're above 1,000 followers on all of Insta, TikTok, and Facebook individually now. We've got some new YouTube subscribers. We've had, I think, 7 or 8 million views in the last couple of months on Curt Can't Talk content.
Yep.
So we're growing.
That's it.
Do you feel the pressure now more than ever?
A little bit.
Yep.
Yeah. Or like you said, you kind of put out a video and you're like, oh, are they just going to die off now? You're kind of trying to...
Am I going to ruin all this momentum?
Yeah, just trying to keep putting out content people want to see, hopefully.
Yeah, well, that is something that we'll be focusing on a lot this year. Live streaming, Jimbo. We'll be doing some with the Outback QB, the NFL show. We'll be doing a lot on the Curt Can't Talk channels.
Yep.
My question to you is, how many sporting events have you been to in person? Take the Ashes out of it that I dragged you along to. How many have you been to in the last 5 years?
Oh, 5 years?
Yeah.
I mean, none.
Live golf with me once.
Oh, yeah, live golf.
Is that it?
Yep. I think that's it.
Well, you better clear your schedule, my friend. I know you know this already, but to give the listeners or the viewers an indication of what we're doing, we are going to the Australian Open. That's next week.
Yep.
We're going for the Wednesday of the Australian Open, the 21st. We'll be live for... I'm planning hours.
Yep.
I'm going to talk
nothing else to
my
do.
ass off. And you are going to be holding a little iPhone,
a camera all
following
day.
me around the whole time. So that'll be good. We'll see what's going on there. You know, there's a whole village to explore inside the Australian Open. The general admission tickets are good, $40 bucks or $50, and you get to... I mean, I don't think we'll see much tennis. We'll just be roaming around,
wandering around, seeing the fans.
Yeah, so we'll be there. We'll be at the Tour Down Under as well for a day. I think probably the Sunday, the final stage. So that is in, I can't even remember where that is now. It's not Wollonga, not Tanunda. I don't know. It's somewhere in South Australia. Can you remember where that is?
I thought it was Wollonga, no?
Maybe it is Wollonga. Don't know. Whatever it is, we'll be there and we'll be live on YouTube. We're also going to the Formula One, the Australian Grand Prix. We'll be there on the Thursday and the Friday. Again, live streaming for hours, talking to Formula One fans. If you see us around, if you see myself and Jimbo will be the one doing this. I'll be the one with a makeshift microphone. Please come and talk to us, but we'll be targeting? That doesn't sound good. We'll be approaching people for 48 hours at the Grand Prix, which I'm excited about. And we'll also, once the NBL schedule gets finalised for the playoffs, because the 36ers will be in it, we'll be milling around Adelaide Entertainment Centre and talking to people there. So all that to say, we've got a lot of live stream stuff.
That's it. And I've still not seen a single sport live.
No, you just walk around the outside.
Walking around.
Well, I'm sure you'll hear a car whiz past at the Formula One.
That's it. I'll hear a
You never been to F1?
No.
No? Been to any motorsport? You've come to the Speedway with me before, haven't you?
No, I've been to the Speedway for the burnouts more so than they have a burnout comp at the same place.
In Virginia?
Yeah.
You know that Speedway track's gone now.
Oh, really?
I think the whole facility... Is the drag strip still there? I'm not sure.
Snap.
Yeah. More childhood memories just thrown out the window.
Yeah, that's burnt.
So you've never been to the sprint cars with me?
Not the sprint cars.
Okay. Maybe we're not as close as I thought.
Adelaide 500, but
corporate.
Up in a balcony watching from somebody else's office. But it counts.
Wait, not in a corporate box.
Somebody else was... So they were on I know it was like Hutt Street, but it was like on one of the nice corners and 3 or 4 stories up. It's pretty good spot.
That is a good spot.
Yeah.
Very nice. Now, you're comfortable there? You're all good?
Relaxed.
Are you brave enough to check the chat, or you're worried it's going to be criticism of...
Yeah, well, we had... what do we have? Alex saying, Bazball set us up as a pantomime villain.
Oh, what do you mean, Alex? That's a highbrow take for 2026. Call in, Alex.
Call in and explain.
Yeah, call in, Alex.
And then Lethan, man, Bazball hasn't ruined Test cricket because it hasn't worked. T20, on the other hand, ...
Yeah, well, a lot of people attribute the Bazball style and this Test cricket style to T20, and there is certainly an argument to say that. It's hard to know whether it's all because of a technical style or a tactical style that Bazball in England have tried to employ, or whether it's just that batsmen can't bat that long and that well anymore. But I don't think that's true, because we saw a couple of test matches in the Ashes go to 4 and 5 days, and there was some good batting, and they did dig in. And we saw that in the New Zealand and West Indies series recently as well. There were some 5-day epics there. So I think if the technical and tactical approach is there to try and play for 5 days, teams can do it. We saw Kemar Roach, a tail ender, face like 90 balls and save the test for the West Indies. So they can still do it, it's just they don't want to. But it doesn't work in the long run. So there you go. Jimbo, should I get stuck into my second topic, or have we got... is there something else you want to get onto first? Well, what have you been looking at over the last little while?
Whoa, what's been happening in my wonderful world of sport, which is really looking for the odd and the bizarre.
Yeah, that's true. You've been leveling up, though. You had some pretty hot takes on conventional sports lately. You were all over the NFL today.
That's it, yeah. I mean, the playoffs have been epic. I think the chat had kicked off already with some Eagles talk.
Yep.
But, yeah, I've been all over the playoffs. Did you catch the, I think it was a women's World ITF event, or it was the Women's World Tour tennis in Nairobi.
I did see this, yes.
There was essentially an Egyptian player who technically came in on a wild card, I guess is the best way they could put it.
Yep.
And her skills were a little lacking.
Have you got the video?
Yeah, it turns out there's virtually no vetting process as for who they'll let
well, this is
play.
Extraordinary because there is a vetting process. Wild cards there are stringent criteria around. Well, maybe not stringent, but there are criteria. I thought you at least had to be in the system or shown that you've played tennis before. But yeah, let's have a look at this. Bizarre scenes. Tennis tournament in Nairobi, Kenya. Not a tennis hub, but this is an Egyptian woman, right?
Yes, she is from Egypt.
All right, let's have a look. Holy moly, it gets worse. It's off the wrong foot. Oh. Hajar Abdelkader. There is a point. Like, that's not only is that obviously not wildcard ITF level, that's not normal person level. I reckon anyone who hasn't played tennis, the average person who's never played tennis, is almost better than that.
Yeah.
Almost.
I think it's, fun stats for the game. So obviously she lost 6-0, 6-0.
No, you're joking.
Within just 37 minutes.
Yep. Surprised she lasted that long.
Yeah. But she served 20 double faults, landing just 8% of her first serves.
8%?
And won only 3 points the entire match.
They were all unforced errors, I bet.
They were as a result of, unforced errors from her opponent.
You know what? Sometimes it's harder to play junk. There's a phrase in cricket.
Yep.
Shit gets wickets, right? Someone comes on bowling pies. They're very tempting to try and smack, and you often get caught out. Similar in tennis. When someone's playing super defensive, I mean, I know she wasn't trying to play defensive, but any shot she would have gotten over was like a slow lob, right? It's almost harder to hit that back because there's no pace generated off of it. So it's easy 100%. To have unforced errors. I played against my mate Gary a few years ago. He beat me. I think he beat me like 6-love or 6-1 or something. But all he would do was just bunt the ball back to me. These little lobs back to me, purely defensive. And I had to generate all the aggression and all the speed. And I was full of unforced errors. And it's his fault I lost.
My favorite part of this story was the last part of it was after, she scored no points other than 3 because of her opponents. At several points, the chair umpire actually had to step in and show her which side of the court to stand on.
Her opponent had to as well.
So not only did she come in absolute trash as far as skills, she didn't even know the rules, didn't know how to play.
I don't understand it.
And essentially, I think Tennis Kenya has come out and wrote a big thing saying, this shouldn't have happened. She grossly kind of represented her skills and ability. But then I love that the Egyptian Tennis Federation went a step further and said, like, they're distancing themselves from it entirely, saying, she's not even a registered player. We had nothing to do with this. They've just said, no, we had nothing to do with this. Don't blame us. This was Kenya's tennis decision.
But how does this... Is it a job interview, is it? Like, do you just have to write a cover letter and if you're convincing, you get in? I could be playing in Kenya next week if that's the case.
Basically, I think in their thing, Tennis Kenya had said, like, there was a very last-minute dropout from sickness, and I think it was just, we got to fill a slot. So, you can play, right? Yeah. You should see my serve. It's wicked.
This sounds like the worst 90s movie ever. Like, as a cleaning lady who
But that's where I also don't know. Did she
down on her luck?
Because I think Tennis Kenya, I forget which organization in the mix of all this finger pointing came out and said, like, hey, look, just keep in mind as everyone's out there kind of smashing her skills. They're like, hey, she's a person. She'll see all this. Like, fair enough. But
that's her fault.
Did she go into this thinking I'm great? Or was this just I can get in, I'll have a crack? Like, was there a level of like, I'll show them what I can do?
I'd respect it if she did it as a gag. I would really respect
100%.
it. Yeah.
But based on the playing and lack of even knowledge of the sport, you're like, is it a gag? Like, nothing said.
So who defended it? What, the Kenyan Tennis Federation?
They didn't defend her. They just said, like, this was clearly a mistake. It was misrepresented.
Go easy on her.
I forget which one, but it was like, hey, in the social landscape, just be careful. Like, be careful for, like...
Nah.
Yeah, it's
I don't like that because
no. They're trying to.
if you are that delusional that you think you deserve to, firstly, even nominate yourself for that tournament, secondly, play in it, you deserve the scorn. This is how society regulates itself. If you're so far off,
this is how
then
you're corrected.
you need to be told by people around you with some sense that you're a moron.
Do you think it's really a case of, mum and dad in Egypt said I was amazing?
This is like an Australian Idol audition gone crazy.
Is it the Australian Idol concept of like, nobody ever told me I was bad. I smashed everyone in my backyard league.
But she couldn't have, not with that. There's no way.
To be fair, Hans said, hey, serving's hard.
It's true, Hans, it is. Hello, Hans. Yeah, it is hard, I guess.
There's someone called Chris Hall in the chat saying it looked similar to how DOS serves.
Chris Hall, host of the Outback QB podcast. Very good.
And then Wayne Hollis, what's more respected on the global stage, Egyptian tennis or Australian breakdancing? I did see in the comments something about she's the Ray Gun of tennis, basically.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'll tell you how she'll become the Ray Gun is if she now goes and makes like 10 pretentious videos in her apartment saying, trying to pretend she's the Australian hero that we all know she isn't.
And then there's some like stories that come out that her husband's on the board of the tennis Kenyan.
Oh, was that?
That was the thing with Ray Gun. Like her husband was like in the selection process, I think, and she tried to defend it.
I tell you what, if there's a musical about this chick playing in Kenya, and then the tennis player tries to sue them and stop them and shut it down, like Ray Gun did, then maybe we'll have some similarities. But until then, I hold the Egyptian tennis player in higher regard.
Hands off her back. Also, people said the same stuff about the Jamaican bobsled team.
And this is what I mean. It's a great Disney film.
That's it.
Yeah.
Or the goalie who was quicker to the lunch bar.
Oh yeah, we had that clip. Remember that was our first semi-viral clip on YouTube. The African lady with the goggles.
Oh,
rather rotund, who had been called up from somewhere. And they conceded like 16 goals and a half.
Yep. Aaron Tedeschi said Ray-Gun was actually ranked #1 in the world, but.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll take that all back. Was she really #1 in the world?
I think, she wasn't a nobody in dancing. That's why everyone was a bit surprised, I think.
All right. No, that's fair.
Breakdancing was a new stint for her, I believe. Or
a new what?
Like a new stint. Like she had done a lot of...
Hippity hop.
Hippity hop. A bunch of different dance. I mean, she had been doing breakdancing, but... Yeah, I remember in the whole thing about it, she wasn't a nobody in the...
Yeah,
when it comes to dancing.
Enormously cringy routine.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take it all back. Yeah, they're all human. Be nice to everyone who thinks they're good at things that they're not. That's a good one, Jimbo.
So that's Egyptian tennis.
All right. Well, I do want to hear more thoughts on Bazball as well. Maybe everyone agrees with me that Bazball is good for Test cricket because of the discussion that it generated. But number 2, I want to talk about Manchester United. Now, this has been on my mind for a while, and it's a topic that inflames a lot of people online. Now, Hans, I know you're not into football, but bear with me just for a moment. Are Manchester United a big club? They are. They still are, and they always will be, frankly, until all of us hosting or watching this show are dead. They're a debacle at the moment, Man United. The argument continues to rage. But what is a big club? What does it mean? And does big equate to being good? Does being a big club mean a good club? No, it doesn't. And here's some Manchester United context for you. The Premier League began in 1992. They won 8 of the first 11 titles. They've still won the most out of any team. They've won 13. Man City have won 8. Chelsea have won 5. But they haven't won, Man United, since 2012-2013. And that was the last season of Sir Alex Ferguson, the legendary manager. In the 13 years since, they've won the FA Cup twice. They've won the League Cup twice. They've won the Europa League, and they've won 2 Community Shields. And you look at that and go, well, that sounds pretty good. 13 years, 7 trophies. Any club, pretty much any club, would take that. Let's say 7 trophies, 13 years, fantastic. But not Man United, and that's exactly the point. We look at Manchester United with no league titles but 7 other trophies in 13 years and think that's a laughingstock. And that's because they are a big club. They finished 15th last year in the Premier League, which is unfathomable. There's no Europe this year. They just got knocked out of the FA Cup by Brighton. They got embarrassed in the Carabao Cup, which is the old League Cup. Carabao is just an energy drink that sponsors it, by Grimsby earlier in the year on penalties, if you will remember that. What you won't remember, though, is that Sunderland, also a Premier League team, got knocked out in the same round of the League Cup, equally by a minnow, Huddersfield. Nobody remembers that because Sunderland aren't a club with the same stature as Man United. But like I said, big should not be confused with good. They're no longer a good club, and they haven't been for a while. They've had a cycle of managers, 11 of them, 5 of them caretakers since Alex Ferguson left. Players who are world-class no longer want to come to Manchester United. They hesitate. They sign elsewhere. Man United doesn't dominate anything, not even the bad clubs they play against anymore. There's no guaranteed wins for Man United. But still, the one thing they dominate is the headlines. And here's the data to back it up. Old Trafford, the stadium, the theatre of dreams, it remains sold out. Attendances are easily the biggest in the Premier League. They average 73,000 per game, which has basically not dropped off in all this time. They have the most online fans, which is a key metric these days. They've got 83 million, according to a survey I saw today, 55 to Chelsea, 51 to Man City. And according to the very reputable Forbes, they are the second most valuable football club in the world, valued at $6.6 billion, only behind Real Madrid. They're ahead of Barca, they're ahead of Liverpool, they're ahead of Man City. Yes, they're a massive club, still possibly the biggest in the world, and they always will be, no matter how badly they are performing. Now, we did, Jimbo, put this out to the good people on Instagram. We had quite a number of responses. 40% said, no, they're not a big club anymore, Manchester United, which is a pretty big split for, if you ask people in the mid-thousands or late 90s, definitely, 100% of the world would have said, yes, this is a big club. So to have even 40% saying, and this was not a small sample size either, to have 40% say, no, they're not, that's a debate worth having.
I mean, is it not possible? I feel like in NFL, like teams turn around, doesn't take long, 3-5 years.
Yeah, but the debate is always, does form or on-field performance dictate whether you're a big club or not? So obviously they had all that early success and sustained success. For 20 years, they were the best team pretty much in Europe, in the world. And they haven't had it lately, but they still have the attendances, they still have the value, they still have the online pull. Sure, they're being mocked a lot, but I guess every behemoth is mocked for whatever they do, rightly or wrongly.
Yep.
So 40%.
I think I'm on the camp of, yeah, even though you had your heyday and you were at the top, you were big, you had numbers. To me, it's if you're just consistently no longer performing, you no longer have the skills, it gets hard to be considered a contender, and therefore it's not long before you're not considered a big club.
So when you think big club, you
I think
put a lot less on the off field
Correct.
and a lot more on what can you do on field.
Yeah, well, it's I would say how long is it for the Chiefs before, let's say the Chiefs go, not to hit a sore spot, go 3, 4, 5 more seasons of just not being in the playoffs, not making the Super Bowl. How long before they're now just a mediocre team? Well,
that's an interesting one because yes, they have a very loyal market. They do have good attendances and all that sort of stuff. But there was a lot of time in the wilderness. I wouldn't say off field they've always been a massive franchise. They're not a Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah. They're not a Dallas Cowboys. Right. So Dallas is maybe the example to equate to Man United in the NFL because they had in the mid-90s massive success, titles and that sort of stuff. And even to this day, when they miss playoffs or they're just a mediocre team, we're always talking about Dallas, right? We're always talking about Jerry Jones. We're talking about the drama, the theater, the things they get wrong all the time, all the criticisms of the ownership, because they've got this rock star attachment to it. Yeah. They've got this reputation that football is big in Dallas and football's massive in Manchester as well, if we're talking European.
And that's why Aaron said Dallas Cowboys are the most profitable sports team in the world and haven't done shit for 30 years.
Yeah. Well, but is he saying that to back you up or to back me up?
I think to back you up. I think he's saying like, hey, they're the most profitable sport team regardless of what they've been doing.
Yeah. Well, does that make you a big club? I mean, I think it does. I think it does. I think there's not a pub test, but something sort of intangible, and that is how much of the conversation do they dominate, right? You look, even when Man United were 15th last year, that was a massive story because Man United are down there. Even when they're mediocre, they're not bad, they're not good. When they're 7th, people are talking about Man United because Man United aren't up the top. And then when they start to get to the top again, Man United's back. And then when they're not, Man United aren't back. It's always the story. And I think you can find clubs like that in any league.
True.
And I don't think they'd ever changes. When there's enough history behind a club or a league, I think it is perennial. It stays that way.
We do have a caller on the line.
Very good. First caller of 2026. Who have we got?
We've got Big Doggy Dogg.
I think that might be Chris. Big Doggy Dogg. Any relation to Snoop Doggy Dogg? Hello, Big. We can't hear. Hang on, Big Doggy Dogg. We can't quite hear.
Got no audio for Big Doggy Dogg.
Oh, is that his end or our end?
Oh, I'm going to blame him because he can't talk and defend himself.
Big Doggy Dogg, we can't hear you. Maybe take off the headset and see how, or switch the microphone on the video if you can possibly do that. This is always the way, especially the first show.
Yeah, there we go.
Oop, holy.
No.
Still nothing.
2026 is cursed.
Who said that? Teddy or you?
Me.
Why don't we take Big Doggy Dogg off the screen while you try and sort it, if you can sort that behind the scenes. I'll tell you who Big Doggy Dogg is, for those who don't know. That's Chris Hall. He is the co-host of the Outback Quarterback podcast, and we've got a full review of the wild card weekend tomorrow. Boy, that was an incredible weekend of NFL football. Sets up the divisionals nicely, but a lot of people, and Dos, our other co-host included, say that the wild card weekend is the greatest weekend of NFL for the year. I tend to agree. I think it's jam-packed full of teams that are in normally very good form, if you take out the Panthers, maybe the Chargers. There's still a big enough slate for it to be enjoyable, and there's 6 games, but it's manageable and it's all spaced out and you can watch every game. And in Australia, there's some on a Sunday too. So for the heathens that don't go to church, they love it because they can watch games 1 and 2 on Sunday.
Got Han saying in the chat, he's still going to invoice you for that call.
Well, I highly doubt that, Hans, but I'll wait with bated breath. Any luck, Jimbo, or are we going to have to give up on Big Doggy Dogg?
Got me?
Hey,
we've got him.
Oh, there we go. It's working.
Big Doggy Dogg, welcome. First caller at 26.
Fella. Curtis, how are you?
What was that, sorry? A little fella?
Little fella.
Little fella. Yeah,
What's going on, dude? What's up?
You want to talk cricket?
Let's do it.
I've got some milestone questions. Okay?
Yep.
So a batsman. I was watching the cricket quite closely, apart from day 4 at Adelaide, where I was drunk and sunburnt. But each time a player got to 100, they celebrated like it was their greatest achievement.
Mm-hmm.
The greatest thing they've ever achieved in cricket. Then they get to 150, and it's just a little raise of the bat. It's not much. It's just, yeah, thanks, guys. Got to 150 now. Let's keep batting. I don't understand why. Because 150 is a greater number of runs than 100. Why aren't they more excited about hitting or getting to 150?
I think there's a simple answer, and that is that hundreds are tracked in the stats. Hundreds are tangible. You can look back at the end of a career and go, oh, we always talk about how many hundreds did Tendulkar make, how many has Kohli or Ponting or whoever made. 150s aren't tracked, which it is weird that these increments are like sort of on this teetering scale of respect and disrespect, even though, 150 is higher than 100. But I think it's just because it's not tracked. 200s as well.
None of it's tracked. We do 50s and 100s.
Yeah.
And that's that, isn't it?
I get there are lists and stats for double centuries and triple centuries, I guess, when you're getting towards the highest score. But would you say that batsmen celebrate 100 more than they celebrate 200? Or is that roughly equivalent?
I think so.
Yeah. What would you do?
I've just brought up watching cricket. So I've been watching these guys get to 150 and just raise the bat and that's that and then keep moving. But 100, it's like they're up and about. Like David Warner's pumping, pointing to the sky.
Jumping in the air,
Jumping to the sky. And the other thing about the other question is on the milestones is when they do raise their bat, all of them are raising their bat. They don't use the face of the bat to salute the crowd. They're using the back of the bat, which I only noticed this year. But is that a sponsorship thing or?
I think it has to be sponsorship. I think it's come in over the last 5 or so years. It's a lot more.
It's a cool thing. Is it just cool to be like, oh yeah, it's not about me, it's about the team, so I'm just going to raise the back of my bat?
I think there's a bit of nonchalance there. They're trying to, I think you've definitely hit something there. But I reckon there would be some that have it written into their contract because there are different stickers on the back of the bat, right? You've seen some guys down the bottom. I think Marnus isn't a sponsor, but he's got like a Bible verse.
Well, I remember-
Some guys do have different sponsors on the back, so I guess that would be it. That's the only reason I can think of.
I remember Steve Smith had that, the koala sticker at the bottom of his bat
Oh,
when
yeah.
he was part owner in I think they're the mattress company, the koala mattresses or whatever they were.
Yep.
And I always thought, all right, well, he's saluting to the crowd because now everyone can see koala, and each time, there's probably hundreds of thousands of viewers.
Feels a bit cheap though, doesn't it? A sacrosanct
Yeah.
milestone, and hey, buy my mattress.
Well, I mean, I think he's made a lot of money out of it, so good on him. He hit a lot of hundreds.
Well, that's true.
He deserves it.
That's true.
But yeah, no, I couldn't understand. If I got to 150, I think I'd be more excited than 100, and I'd be raising the face of my bat.
I would love. Can you make a comeback to local cricket just to
No,
get a
I can't.
150 and
No.
go mental with your
No, I
celebration?
can't, Curtis. I bent over playing golf last week and did my back. So
Is it still no good?
It's
Or he's just done his back so badly that his internet cut out. You're still there? Oh, there he is. We got you. You're back.
Oh no, we're back. Are we going down the nets?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I want to go to the nets. Jimbo, remember we were talking pre-Christmas about how I faced 105 kilometers an hour in the nets?
Yep.
Yeah, Hawley, A, reckons he can bowl faster, and B, wants to see me jump around in the net. So, yeah, let's do it.
Nice.
Two piece, what is it, 142 gram pink
Oh,
ball? I'll have that swinging all over the place.
Dude, when I was 19, I hadn't played cricket for 4 years, right? I stopped at under 15s. Went back for 2 random games as a 19-year-old. I was playing seniors for the first time. And I was a late bloomer, right? So when I was playing under 15s, I had not hit puberty. I was a tiny child, right? Trying to play cricket.
Yeah, to now you're a beast of a human being.
Absolutely. You know what it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know me well.
Yeah.
So I was bowling in the nets, my first net session for 4 or 5 years, and I couldn't believe it. I was making guys jump around. For the first time in my life, I had confidence to bowl short balls, and I hit a guy like accidentally, and he said, I don't want to face him anymore. I was like, what is going on here?
Guy.
I said,
You're that guy.
I couldn't believe it. And then I looked at the ball I was bowling with, and it was a 142 gram, not a 156. And then I got the 156, and I was as slow as a wet week. It makes all the difference. So
It makes a massive difference. And they swing all over the place. They're good balls. But I want video footage of you with the bowling machine next time, Kurt.
okay, yep, I can
Set
get
it up
some
on
for
the
you.
stand at the other end where the bowling machine is, and let's get some footage for
That's
what's
it.
this called now? Kurt Can't Talk.
Kurt
Yep.
Can't Talk. I like that. Hawley,
Can't Talk.
just
Beautiful.
before you go, your thoughts on Bazball? Has it been a net positive for Test cricket or not?
Well, it's not even a thing. Australia did it like 20 years ago. Like Australia were playing Bazball 20 years ago. We were hitting like Hayden, Langer, Gilchrist, all these guys, Punter, and everyone coming through. They were hitting at 4.5 and over.
Yep.
And our bowlers were aggressive. Like McGrath just bowled the spot. Warney, every ball Warney bowled, he wanted a wicket. Brett Lee was the most aggressive bowler in the world and one of the most ever still. And then we roll into a Mitchell Johnson era, and like Australia traditionally for the last probably 30 years has always hit at 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5 and over in Test match cricket. So
That's
I
true.
don't think what England have done is anything special. They've beaten down on some minnow countries, and then when they come up against some good countries, they just screw up any chance they have of winning. So
It's a good point. It's a good point
yeah.
because hitting at 3.5, 4 and over in the 90s was unheard of. Test cricket used to go at 2.5 and over. And then, yeah, like you say, when we were scoring 270 runs in a day, it was just
mate,
unheard
there were
of.
day ones where we were 3 for 350.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's what we do because we're Australia. And now England do it against bloody Pakistan. And it's like, oh, we're heroes, we're England.
Yeah,
Come to
true.
Australia gets smoked 1-4. So
Yeah, go to India and
stuff 'em.
cannot
stuff the bombs, Kurt.
stuff them. All right, good on you, Hawley.
Yeah, screw 'em. Hey, first ever caller and first caller of 2026.
Hey, and of Kurt Can't
James Can't Talk. The new show, James Can't Talk.
James Can't Talk.
Yes, that's right, the new rebrand. Hawley, so if the first call was your 50, the second call is your 100, your third call, you're going to have to celebrate like mad.
I'll be up and about. Anyway, I better go. I've got heaps of prep to do for the Outback Quarterback podcast tomorrow.
See you bright and early, Hawley.
See
Thanks,
ya,
mate.
fellas.
Good on you. It's always good when Hawley calls the show, isn't it? He's a unique mind, and he makes a good point. He makes a really good point that maybe Bazball's just branding. Maybe it's just rash cricket played slightly less skillfully than the Australians were doing in the late 90s and early thousands. And to be fair, Travis Head did score at like 84 runs per 100. His strikeout was 84, I think, in this test series as the leading run scorer by far. So maybe it's just a skill thing. What else have you got, Jimbo? What have you been looking at? That was gold with the Kenyan tennis earlier on.
Oh, with the 49ers game recently in the playoffs, there was some big news. Well, I say big news, but I mean, with the 49ers high injury stats, they've just had an unheard of injury stats specifically around Achilles ruptures, tendon tears, high-grade hamstrings.
George Kittle
Today
tore his Achilles, massive loss. I don't know how these guys keep winning, by the way. It is extraordinary. They beat the Eagles today, which was fantastic. Ibs, I know Ibs, who's a big Eagles guy, might be watching it. He was thinking of calling in. So if you're there, Ibs, come on, let's talk. But yeah, 49ers injuries.
Yeah, they've had an obscene amount of injuries, but there's been a bit of stir in some conspiracy theories as to why. And it's gained traction. So basically, right next to the San Francisco 49ers stadium is a massive power substation. And they're basically saying, oh, here we go. Let's pull this up for reference. So they're saying not 100 yards, there's an electrical substation.
Yep.
And this guy, Peter Cowan, has put out a big thing on Substack saying it's the EMF that's causing a degradation in collagen and weakening tendons, causing soft tissue damage.
Whoa.
So there's basically been this thing that like everyone said like, oh, it's not good. And it's always been a joke around the locker room that like, oh, we got to start wearing EMF shielded stuff or joking about it. But then this has come out and everyone's gone gangbusters on this theory and basically saying, oh, now that this guy's put out his big thing about it. But,
okay.
I mean, it's a fun conspiracy theory and everyone's jumped on it. Like I think even there's a big... I forget his name. There's a big guy that's a big 49ers fan, and he ran wild with it.
Yep.
But it's been pretty debunked. Like it's pretty trash. So there's not a lot of studies that can basically verify that EMFs have any degradation on tissue or anything done in a lab at like extreme levels. Like it'd have to be you physically touching something of like a way high magnitude. So I don't know. Unfortunately, it's been pretty debunked, but it was a kind of cool conspiracy theory wave.
Well, the first question I would have asked is, how long has that substation been there? And they've been at Levi's for a long time. Do they train at Levi's or at a field outside of Levi's? Or is
I believe they train there, and
yeah.
I think it's since 2016. I think they moved there in 2016.
And have they had high injury stats for the last 10 years?
Yeah, like literally they're saying since they've gone there.
Oh, so it's not just this year.
No. They're implying like it's been ever since they moved to, I forget the name of it, but like not the stadium, but the area.
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe it was in 2016.
Okay. All right.
Han saying, that's what big EMF want you to believe, Jimbo.
Wait, why would they want you to believe that? Surely they want you to believe the
true.
other.
They would. Oh no, they want me to believe that the studies say that it's fine.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I reckon Hans would be our resident conspiracy theorist. Hans, if you get any conspiracy theories or anyone else, put them in the chat. That's a good one. I love that the data aligns with the timing.
I kind of loved seeing that any 49ers diehard fan leapt like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Let's look no further. This answers all the questions.
If you look at who the pseudonym of the guy who wrote it is actually the name of the strength and conditioning coach of the 49ers. Hey, check out this interesting Substack that a guy named Peter someone wrote this week. Oh yeah, interesting.
Han says he's got them all, buddy. All the conspiracy theories.
I bet. Start filtering them into the chat.
Call in.
Yeah, don't mind that. Don't mind that at all, Jimbo. All right, I want Bazball opinions in the chat or anyone calling in. I want Man United opinions as well. Are they a big club still? Yes or no? Just put that in the chat for us. Let's go to my third topic of the night. And this will get a few people going because it's a pretty NFL strong crowd that we have. And NFL, it's in a good place. It's just been a magnificent week of playoff football. But I want to talk about the playoff system. And I think that division winners in the NFL, division winners should not automatically make the playoffs. Carolina made playoffs this year with a losing record. They were 8-9. It's the fifth time it's happened in history under this system. And that's 5 times in the last 16 years. So about every 3 years, a team with a losing record in a 32-team competition where only 14 make the playoffs, a team with a losing record makes it. And for Carolina, sure, it's legitimate, right? This is the system. They did what they needed to do to qualify under the system. And They played the Rams and put in a very respectable performance. They did lose in the wildcard round, but they looked good. But here's the kicker for me. There were two teams in the NFC with a better record this year. The Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. They were both 9-8. Not a huge difference, but it's still a difference in a 17-game season. There were two teams in the AFC that have a better record if you look at points differential, and that's Baltimore and Indianapolis. So 4 teams in the league had a better record than Carolina, yet Carolina are playing playoffs. Not only did the Vikings and Lions have better records, but by definition, they played better teams, because a team like Carolina, who can make playoffs by winning the division with a losing record, clearly are in a weak division. Clearly, they're playing worse teams if 8 and 9 gets them there. So that's the first point. The second point is that not only does winning your division guarantee you playoffs, it guarantees you a home game to start the playoffs, even with a losing record. So Carolina, who were 8 and 9, were playing at home against the LA Rams, who were 12 and 5. They won 4 less games than the LA Rams in the same conference, and they hosted the Rams this week. And tomorrow, the 10 and 7 Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC will host the 12 and 5 Houston Texans. How is that not broken? Explain to me how that system makes any sense. I understand, yes, it's good to win your division, to beat your direct opponents, but to be put so much higher than your AFC counterparts makes no sense to me. You may argue that the fact that Carolina almost beat the Rams shows that, hey, they are a valid entry and they did deserve to be there because they were competitive. But to me, if they had gotten a win today, that would have been even more of a reason to change it. A 47%, a team that's won 47% of their regular season games, if they knocked off a team that had won 71%, there would be something really wrong with that. Other sports do it, you might say. Yes, they do. But they have 162 game seasons, and things over that span of time sort of even themselves out, right? I think it comes out in the wash. 17 games is not a big enough sample size to reward teams with a losing record. It doesn't make sense to me. To be frank, and I'll finish on this, and I'm interested to see if people disagree with me. I'm glad the Panthers lost today. I love their story. I love that they are getting better, but I'm glad they lost today because they don't deserve a playoff win. And I hope the Steelers lose to the Texans tomorrow. All right.
Righty, we do have some callers on the line. We've got Ibs in.
Ibs. Okay, this is NFL related. Ibs, man, well done on calling in. How are you, firstly? Mental health check.
I'm wearing all black today for a reason.
You're in mourning.
I'm in mourning. It's not a good day at all. Obviously, the result didn't go our way and what I wanted to see today, but kind of it's all to cover off something that was brewing and something in the background that got masked over the whole year. And today it came to fruition. And I'm, in a way, right, obviously I'm very sad my team lost, and I wanted my team to play in the Super Bowl. There's no greater feeling as a Chiefs fan yourself. You would understand that. But today uncovered a lot of things and a lot of issues.
Mm-hmm.
And there is 2 major ones I'd like to discuss.
Please.
Now, unfortunately, I was putting my daughter to bed, so I wasn't able to listen to the start of the show. So I know this was probably brought up. One of them being our play caller.
No, we haven't brought it up, so go nuts.
So I'm not actually going to use his name because I don't think he's the issue.
You don't think he's what?
The issue.
I don't think he's the issue.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't know what my audio is like.
No, you're good.
So I think there's a bigger systematic issue in Philadelphia where your head coach is not the play caller. You look at all the long-term successful franchises. You look at the Rams with McVay, the 49ers with Shanahan, like all the great teams have Big Red in KC,
yep.
All the great teams, their head coach is their offensive coordinator, because what ends up happening, as has happened with us twice now, we had Shane Steichen and Kellen Moore, who were really, really good play callers, really good OCs. They're going to get snapped up. The minute we're going to start to perform, they're going to get head coaching roles. And it's just going to be a continuous, vicious cycle. I like Sirianni. I know you don't.
Not at all.
I like Sirianni. I think he's a great people manager, right?
Yep.
And I think the players love him. Obviously, what happened with AJ today, I think that's not really concerning, to be honest.
We'll get to that, yep.
But I think the biggest issue that we have is that we're going to get a good... So let's say, for example, now Kevin Petullo gets a flick after we've got the highest paid offense in the league, and we're dishing up this crap, 18 points a game after the bye.
Yep.
Ridiculous.
Yep.
He's going to get the flick. We're going to get a good OC, and whether it's McDaniels or Stefanski, whoever's available, right, as an OC, they're going to perform. They're going to get a head coaching role, and then we're going to be in the same vicious cycle. So either Nick Sirianni learns how to play call, which I don't think he can. He did start in 2021.
Yep.
He did start. He was a play caller, and he got yanked for Steichen. Steichen started calling the plays.
Yes.
And so it's either Nick Sirianni learned how to be a great offensive play caller, or the Eagles have to move in a different direction with head coach. And I know we won the Super Bowl last year, and I understand that this isn't an emotional reaction.
Yep.
I'm very logical with what I think. At the end of the day, right, we're gonna run into the same issue next year. We're gonna get a new offensive coordinator. Mate, it's very hard not to perform when you got Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, who didn't play well.
Yep.
With those players on offense, some of the things that we saw today were like high school level schemes, right?
Let's
And
Sorry, let's dig into a couple of those things because you've made some very good points, and I do want to address them and pay them the respect. Firstly, you are wearing black for the funeral of their season. I am inadvertently, as an Eagles hater, wearing Eagles green, so that was not intended. Couple of things you said. Sirianni as a people manager, and you said you had no issue with what happened between him and AJ Brown today. Jimbo, I don't know if you can get any pictures up of, maybe not footage because the NFL is very fastidious with copyright, but pictures up of what happened. For those who didn't see it, they were going at each other. AJ Brown, after a couple of botched plays, had to be held back from going at Sirianni, who ran the length of the sideline to have a go at him. And Tom Brady dismissed it on the coverage and said, it's fine. They've got a good relationship. You need to do that as a head coach sometimes. I don't think Sirianni does have a brilliant record of people management. I think he has driven AJ Brown to the point of diva behavior, and that's on AJ Brown as well. But then I think he handles it wrong in that he gets to a point where Brown's been complaining all year, so then he gives him all the targets again and makes him feel loved, and then they lose games, and then he rips it away again. It's all or it's nothing with both of them, and their personalities that clash, and it looks ugly. That's the first point. The second point about the coordinators is very true. That's going to happen with Green Bay with Jeff Hafley. He's been interviewing for head coach jobs. I think he'll get one. So just as they get some momentum on the defense, maybe not today, but overall, they'll lose their guy. Here's the picture. Yeah, so there they are. There's the star wide receiver and head coach. Wow, they got closer than I thought. Look at that photo, Whips. That's are you looking at that as a fan saying that's not a concern to you?
So I'm going to propose this one to you. Do you think Big Red can manage people?
Yes, I do. And he went at Kelsey. But I tell you why it's different. Andy Reid, Kansas City Chiefs head coach, is a revered, respected father of the league. They look up to this guy like he's their dad. And I think that's a key difference between Sirianni, who is only a few years older than these guys. Yes, he's got the respect of winning a Super Bowl and thoroughly deserved it. But he's not that personality. He's not, at least from the outside, it doesn't appear like he's the guy that can put an arm around you and in a private moment or in a public moment say, hey, we'll be right. I just think he's a dick, to be frank. And that comes out. I don't think it's a positive spilling over of love and enthusiasm. Is that fair, or do you disagree?
Look, I will accept that. Obviously, as an Eagles fan and a long-time Eagles fan, I revere Andy Reid so much. He was the first coach when I became an Eagles fan, so he's always going to have a special place in my heart. And I do understand your point, but from what Nick said in the press conference today, he was literally trying to push everyone off the field to get the field goal unit out. And I think AJ, in the heat of the moment, in the heat of emotions, I've done it before. I've blown, I played football for 5 years, and it's such a high impact sport, and there's so much pressure and there's so much mentally happening in the head. It's not like, so I played rugby league for 13 years.
Yep.
And I played American football for 5. Mentally, the things that are going in my head as a American football player is substantially different to a rugby league player. Rugby league player, it's like, I just got to trounce the guy in front of me. Right.
Yeah.
And I've done half my job with the NFL. Playing American football, it's a whole different thing. So I'm not going to take too much into that. I'm going to go to my second point. And funny enough, you brought that up.
Yes.
I think AJ Brown has to get out of Philadelphia.
I totally agree. He's gone. He's got to go.
Now,
it's toxic.
I He is the biggest problem, and I think Nick plays a part. I think Howie plays a part. I think Jalen plays a part.
Yep.
But I think AJ is the biggest problem.
You're right.
Let's go as number one. You were part of it, but the Eagles got you a ring. You're wearing a ring now. You have a Super Bowl ring. Not many wide receivers can say that, right, over a lifetime.
Yep.
And he was a big part of it. Don't get me wrong. Your family is set up for life. You have generational wealth because of the Philadelphia Eagles. You want to come out and say the offense isn't performing well? I'm all for that, right? I'm all for if you think their offense isn't performing where it should be because it wasn't, right? We have the highest paid offense in the league and it doesn't look like it in the slightest. But if you're going to run your mouth, if you're going to talk the talk, walk the walk. And he did not do that. He's made so many crucial drops this year. It has been ridiculous. Some of them are sitters, right? Some of them, and he's got great hands. That's what he's good for.
Not today, he didn't.
Not today, did it? And there's been a few other games where balls just bounced out of his hand. Against the Chargers, I think he was the reason for 2 of Jalen's interceptions. So
no, I agree. AJ's got to go. It's not tenable there. It's almost like a Tyreek situation in Miami. We won't see him there next year. It is a good point. I think he needs to get out. One more thing before I let you go, Ibs. You mentioned before that you're thinking you'll get a good offensive coordinator, hopefully next year, like Mike McDaniel, who's just been let go from the Miami Dolphins, or Kevin Stefanski. Both those guys are being interviewed for head coach jobs. I don't think you get Stefanski. Stefanski will be a head coach somewhere else. You might get McDaniel, which would be pretty cool because let's not forget this guy's done wonders with offenses in the past. But very interesting to see where the Eagles go from here. I appreciate you calling in, man. I know you were very disappointed today. Birds Down Under is your page, right? With 2 R's?
2 R's. Someone took the one without their 2 R's, so I have to take the 2 R's.
What were those balloons? Was that automated? That was not me celebrating the loss of the Eagles, I promise. We'll leave it there, Ibs. Good on you, man. Thanks so much for calling in.
Guys, have a great night.
Thanks, you too, mate. Passionate man.
Yep.
Well informed. Birds Down Under. Give him a follow if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan. Did you say we had someone else in the waiting room?
We
Jimbo?
do. We got Lethan joining us.
Hey, Lethan, man. What's going on?
How are we, boys?
Very well, mate. It's been a while. How are you? Good New Year's. Good Christmas.
Good. Yeah, I had to work, unfortunately.
Oh, damn. All right. Well, let's get on to the good stuff. What are you calling about?
I got 2 things. The first one's about your playoff, the way that it's all been set up at the moment and how it can change. I actually seem to agree with you on that one. I think they could do a lot of moving around, and I think I've sort of actually solved it for them.
Please, tell us.
Run it the way that the NRL runs their final series. So you would push it out to, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? So your playoffs would be 5 weeks long, including the Super Bowl.
With us, is that 5 weeks of games, or have you got the Pro Bowl gap in there?
Oh, sorry, 6 weeks and have your Pro Bowl gap in there if you want it.
Okay, how does that work?
And increase it out to 8 teams per conference.
Okay, so we go from 7 per conference to 8 per conference. So 16 out of the 32 make it. Yep, go on.
Yeah, so you have the first 4 to qualify are your division champions.
Yep.
So you have your number 1 seeds for each division. They're your first 4. And then the next 4 are ranked on their win-loss record.
Yep.
As a total for the season, not this whatever their win-loss record is in their division first or whatever bullshit they're running at the moment.
I like that part of it, but it doesn't solve the Carolina losing record, right? So under that system, could you still have someone with a better record than a division winner missing playoffs?
A better record than a division winner.
Carolina finished 8-9. They win their division. They, under your system, still automatically qualify. Then you could have someone with 9 and 8. Right. Yeah, that's the thing that I have the biggest issue with.
I think all it does though is it adds into that the bottom 4.
Yep.
Is that you take away that aspect of your division record that takes it out of the equation and just goes, what's your win-loss total? And then you have your tiebreaker as your points for and against.
I like that.
So how many you've scored versus how many you've been scored against.
I think that's better. And I think the other thing I like about your system is that with that added team, there's one more team that has a decent win-loss record that makes it. So statistically, it's less likely that a division winner jump someone with a better record. However, if we applied that to this year in the NFC, just doing the maths in my head, Minnesota, I believe, would have made playoffs, but the Lions still would have missed with a record of 9-8. So I know you can't balance it so that's perfect every time because that they both missed out with a better record.
I did it with a mock-up of the AFC this year.
Oh yeah,
but I didn't adjust their records. I just went on what their seed was in the AFC, and it would have been so week 1 everybody plays. There's no bye.
1v8.
Yeah. So you go 1v4 and 2v3.
It's a double chance like AFL as well.
Yeah, double chance, and then 5 versus 6 and 7 versus 8, and those bottom 2 games, the loser gets eliminated. I was going to do it. I was going to do it 1 versus 8 and 2 versus 7.
Yep.
But then you're giving a second chance to the worst 2 teams.
Well, it can't be second chance then. It would have to be.
That's right. It's got to be 1 versus 4 and 2 versus 3.
But one thing I do like about the NFL system is that it's every game is you win and you advance, you lose and you're out. I actually think that adds some more jeopardy in the fact that there is no double chance. I just think they need to adjust how those teams get there and how it's set up with home field advantage. Like I said before, with Pittsburgh versus Houston tomorrow, Houston do not deserve to be traveling to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh deserve to be on the road. They limped over the line against a hobbled Baltimore team because Tyler Loop, the rookie kicker, missed it. Yeah. And I know that there's all sorts of machinations for every team that makes and misses playoffs, but that's the bit. If I was to make one change right now, it wouldn't even be as drastic as saying division winners don't qualify. The first change I would make is home field advantages based on record. So sure, Carolina, you can qualify for winning the division, but you're not having a home game against the LA Rams.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's fair.
What's your second point?
My second point is, I wanted your opinion on this, is that there's a quarterback in the league who I think is, what's the word? He gets a lot more props than he should.
Okay.
Everyone talks him up way more than they should.
Mm-hmm.
I've put together just a little exercise for you.
Homework.
Just a very quick one.
Do it.
I'm going to give you the stats of 3 different quarterbacks, and I want you to tell me which ones you would take in what order.
Sure.
So the first one is 197 passing yards.
Yep.
72.2% completion.
Yep.
2 touchdowns and an interception.
Number 2. I feel like Dave Ramsey writing down figures, giving advice on the go.
159 passing yards.
Yep.
61.3% completion. 0 TDs and 0 intercepts.
Mm-hmm. Number 3.
And the third one is 238 yards, 64.3% completion, 1 TD and 1 intercept.
Okay. Is there significant rushing yardage in any of these games?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, clearly, and this is on one game only, the guy with 159 yards and no touchdowns and a worse completion percentage, that is the worst performance out of the 3. The guy with 2... I would take the guy with 197, 2 touchdowns and an interception over 238, 1-1, because I want more touchdowns than I want yards. But who's the guy? Reveal the man behind 159 yards and no touchdowns and 61.
I'll go in the order that you've chosen them.
Go
first.
on. Yep.
So your first one that you've picked that you take first, that was Tyrod Taylor this year.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns. Yeah.
When they lost to Tampa.
Yes.
Number 2
of course they
took was Geno Smith.
Yeah.
When they lost to the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
And number 3 that you said come last was Justin Herbert today.
Now, look, I've got to say, I don't agree with how you arrived there because you can pick any game of any person in any context and make it seem good, bad, or otherwise. What I do agree with is your overall point. And I know you've tuned in to the Outback Quarterback podcast, and perhaps you've heard me say in the past, I don't know if you have, I am not high on Justin Herbert. Certainly not as high as everybody else. And for some reason, for 5 years now, people have said he's the savior of the Chargers and that whenever there's a bad game, this is what gets me about Herbert and the Chargers. Whenever there's a bad game, it's never Herbert's fault. Never. It's the O-line who, to be fair, don't protect him. But you have to take some responsibility for sacks as well. It's the play calling. It's whatever. There's always an excuse for Herbert. And I just don't think he's that good.
I think he's grossly overrated. And to that point that you just come up with, you're a Chiefs fan, so you would have heard this several times at the end of last season. What was the main issue in our Super Bowl when we lost?
The Chiefs.
We didn't have an O-line protecting Mahomes.
Yep.
We didn't give him time, and we were constantly told that's not an excuse. Mahomes should be doing better. He's a great quarterback. He should be able to, find a way around that. Yet when it comes to Herbert, who's supposed to be up in that same echelon, or maybe not quite, but certainly up there with, Burrow and Lamar and all those, we get to make those excuses for him, but we don't get to make it for the others.
And I will say, Justin Herbert is a good quarterback. And
he's
that's
good.
that's where it ends at the moment. He's good.
Yeah.
He's nothing more than that, in my opinion. I know people are very strong about this, and supporters of Herbert are particularly vociferous in their defense of him. And he has, I think what maybe pushed that argument and people are still hanging on to is in those early years, there were moments where he did bail his team out on massive third downs, fourth downs in some huge games. I'm going back 3 or 4 years now. And if you watch them, you think this is a guy in his second year. He has got it all. He can do it all. And if this continues, there's no way he won't be a superstar. And he has had some pretty bad injuries. He's tough. I will give him that. He battles through a lot of bad stuff that a lot of quarterbacks wouldn't. But there comes a time where 4 or 5 years of evidence stacks up, and whatever the reasons around the periphery for it not working, you just have to say it's just not worked to the level that they thought. Yes, he's their franchise quarterback. He's not going anywhere. I'm not saying that. But it just hasn't worked. They haven't won playoffs. I mean, that's the goal, right?
This was his 6th season in the league, and he hasn't won a playoff game.
Yeah. Yeah.
He, I think he's a good quarterback, but I don't think he should be up there with Burrow and Allen and Lamar. I think
I agree.
I think he's sitting a tier below at the moment, sort of up in the area of, Baker Mayfield and, Dak and probably Jalen Hurts, but I feel like that's putting Jalen Hurts too high as well.
One word answer before you go. MVP.
Stafford.
Like it. I agree. All right. Good to see you, mate. Thank you very much.
See you, boys.
Good addressing of my playoff system there, Jimbo. That was good. Oh, did I see another caller on the line there? Lethan just merged into someone else. I think I know the face. I think I saw Alex's face.
It?
Yeah. Is that who we got?
Yeah.
Alex, hello, my friend.
How are you?
Very well. How are you?
Look like you've gotten some sun.
Stuff. Hey?
Look like you've gotten some sun.
Yeah, I've been working outside for the last week. Those 40-degree days, it was beautiful.
Oh, lovely, lovely. Just turn you up a little, Jimbo. What's going on, Alex? What are you calling in about tonight?
I was just calling about Bazball. I think I actually hadn't considered your point until you'd said it, but I actually think it's not a bad point. It's good for it in terms of it creates the drama. I said earlier it was a pantomime villain.
Yes.
That kind of villain that's set up, that's there to be booed, and it's, and it was almost, comical the way that they said about, we didn't try it, we over-prepared. It's like that was just a set. I swear that was just to try and goad us and rev us up a bit because, that was just stupid.
It was a strange media strategy, wasn't it, in the lead up to it? There was that statement. I've been thinking about Stuart Broad's comment of this is the worst Australian team since 2010, and do you think that was just a throwaway line on a podcast that he didn't mean to gather this momentum, or do you think this may be overly cynical? Do you think that they put him up to it? Do you think this is a deliberate strategy pre-Ashes to try and rattle Australia, or was he just acting alone there? Is he a lone wolf?
I think he would have done the opposite. I think it's kind of put a bit of fire in the belly. So I don't think it would have been a dumb choice if he chose to do it. I don't know why you'd do that. I mean, I guess I can kind of see what he's saying on paper, that there was a lot of batters kind of getting towards the end of the careers. People like Kawaja weren't averaging well.
Yep.
Marnus, other than his Shield form, has been out of form. A number of players that weren't quite at their full strap. So there might have been some, merit to what he actually said, but just proved that England was way, way worse. So it's like
it was a weird series.
You got sucked.
It was a weird series in that Australia dominated, but there were a lot of questions over selection into the 4th and 5th test, more than normal when you win a series like this. There was Kawaja, there was Cam Green, there was Marnus, who was out of form, and then there were a few questions about which bowlers do we pick. That wasn't so much form, it was more suitability for the pitch. But I can't remember a series where Australia has dominated so much, but there's 3 or 4 guys that you're going, these guys aren't playing well at all.
Yeah. And we chopped and changed more than I can remember in a home series.
Yeah.
Years.
No, very true.
A bit disappointed that Webster didn't get a game earlier. Still think Green should have been out and Webster in after about the second game. But everyone kept going, especially Skull, talking about Green as a generational talent. And it's like, where's the evidence for it? They keep saying it. It's just this thing they keep saying.
I love Kerry O'Keefe. He's one of my favourite guys to listen to, but I don't agree with that point. And I think everyone saw it, not to beat up on Cam Green, but everyone saw by the end of the series the things that the Cam Green dismisses, of which I am one, have been saying for a number of years now. There's potential, but there seems to be a cap on any significant contribution that can be made beyond an innings where the game is done, or an odd cameo with the ball. He took the odd wicket, but nothing that was sustained. He didn't make any significant scores. He scores the 21 not out or 22 not out. And I said this in the group chat when he came in the 5th test. I said to a bunch of guys, I bet you he scores 20-something not out here, looks good, and this saves him for the next series because he shepherded us home in Sydney when we were wobbling a little bit. And sure enough, he does that, and now he'll get picked again.
I think he maybe the 4.27 million or whatever it was got to his head a bit, and he was having other thoughts instead of on Test cricket.
To be fair, probably would affect me too. If I got that offer from Wayne Phillips-Keogh, I reckon next week's show would struggle.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, no, it was a great series.
I think England were probably lucky to get the one win, to be honest.
Definitely.
They weren't really looking like it in any other game. Sometimes when they looked okay, like Sydney, they looked okay.
Even Perth, Australia was struggling in patches.
Yeah, but we just always came out looking better a session or two later.
Yeah.
And I think Melbourne was just such a bad wicket that I think it was a bit of a luck of the draw who wins it. Flip a coin and either team could win it.
Well, true. But to be fair, they did get it done, and we won another 2-day test, so we can't complain.
Wishing that our old gentleman that they wish would win one game, so that was your fault.
Yeah, that was my fault, Jimbo. I had a video on YouTube where I said I wish a guy luck, and I hope you win one. Remember when we were live streaming, and then I walked away and regretted it, and then a week later they do win their first game. Quickly before you go, Alex, man of the series was Mitch Starc. Did you have Starc or Head as your man?
Kez.
Alex Carey.
No, not really.
He was good. He was good, but I don't think he was at the level of the other two.
Yeah.
He was very good.
But you know what? I actually think he had a better series across more consistent series than the other two.
Yeah.
Starc was great in the first 2 games, and look, he was great in the other games, but really those first 2 games were his best 2.
Yep.
Head popped up in, obviously Perth was great. Adelaide was great as well. So, he was good. But I just saw Kez's consistency and just doing stuff that other keepers aren't doing.
Yeah.
Keeping up to the stumps, not dropping catches, just absolutely awesome keeping skills and great batting for the keeper.
Yeah.
I thought he was I never thought he'd win the man of the series, but I thought, he was the most consistent across, I reckon.
Yeah, he was
exceptional. Without the absolute standout match he had, which is what ultimately got them.
And he also had Adelaide, which was standout. He had a century and a half century. And he made Jamie Smith look silly, really. Smith has got all the talent in the world and showed it in glimpses, but again, just threw away his wicket. And even glove work-wise, there's a real difference between a good keeper or a normal keeper and what Alex Carey is at the moment, which is world-class. So it's not a bad call.
I'm surprised he's not picked for the T20 team. They're picking Inglis as a better batter, and he's definitely not a better keeper.
Who's that?
Inglis.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, T20 selection, I don't know. It's always hard to read. It always confuses me slightly. But the T20 World Cup is coming up, and actually, you might be joining for a watch-along. I've meant to ask your availability, Alex, on Wednesday, I think it's the 11th of Feb.
I've got to check my calendar watch.
Yeah, that's right. Australia play Ireland at 8 o'clock on Wednesday, the 11th of Feb, and we'll be watching that live on Curt Can't Talk. So I'll text you offline. But thanks for ringing up, mate. Good to chat to you.
Have a good night.
You too. Very good. All right, that's good, Jimbo. We had, 4 callers tonight, all varied topics. No, any chat about Man United? People don't seem to have been biting on the
saw
soccer
nothing
stuff.
there. Hans did say he was trying to give us a bell. He wanted to talk F1 with our mate Baldwin, but the EMF in the workshop was too strong and the connection wouldn't be good. He said, I'll wake the kids up if I do it in here.
That bloody EMF, mate, I tell you. If you haven't watched the whole show, you won't understand what Hans is talking about. Very good. Look, Jimbo, did you have anything else? I mean, they're my big 3. I've got a couple of other little things, but what else have you been looking at?
I mean, I just had one fun little video from it was from the women's tennis.
Again?
Yeah,
Gee, you're a sexist pig, Jimbo.
This one's a good one.
What's going on here? Brisbane International.
Oh, beautiful timing.
What are the odds?
Is that actually a train?
She
Yeah.
had to laugh there
This
for a
is in
second. Everyone did.
I think it was a few days ago.
That is impeccable timing. No, surely not. Surely not, James.
What are the odds?
Well, hello to our friends at Queensland Rail.
That's amazing.
What are the odds?
That is amazing. That reminds me, there was a Sandful game of Australian footy played 10 or 15 years ago, and it was at Elizabeth Oval, home of the Central District Bulldogs.
Wee.
And there is a train line, the Gawler line that passes behind the Ponderosa, which is what they call that oval. And it was a close game, 22, 23 minutes gone. Guys are umpiring, and they hear in the background, and they mistake it for the siren. This is not Siren Gate that happened in the St Kilda Freo game in Tasmania. Yeah, this was Sandful, and they blew the siren when they heard a train blow in the background. So they're not alone.
That's it. These railways, they're taking the piss.
That must have been. Is that deliberate?
I don't know. That's where somebody was saying, clearly the driver was like, yep.
It's great. That's very good.
Ugh.
All right, I think that's the show, Jimbo. That's our
it.
return. Look, you've done an amazing job. You had the technical difficulties early, and you saved the show. You steered the ship,
it.
and we got you back. I don't know what I would have done if there was no Jimbo on screen the whole time. People would have gotten sick and be very quick.
Brought it back, just like the Rams.
That's right. Oh, nice. Yeah, nice foreshadowing. Outback Quarterback NFL show tomorrow. That's on our Outback QB podcast channel. So check that everywhere, Spotify, Apple, all that sort of stuff. The other thing is that this show now is on Apple and Spotify too. So I'll upload that tomorrow. If you ever miss a show, you can catch up on YouTube. You can catch up on Spotify and Apple. Yes, Jimbo?
Ooh, quick question from Tedeschi before we hop off. He
Yep.
said, I know it's early, but what's the chances of a draft day live stream?
Very high. Very high. We have discussed that, Teddy.
Yep.
I think that is
On the cards.
on the cards. Can't guarantee it yet, but we are trying very hard. Oh, and it's a good reminder, on the Outback QB podcast channel, we do have our first ever watch-along, our first NFL watch-along. We will be watching the second of the conference championship games in just a couple of weeks on Australia Day. So mid-morning, Australia Day, we'll be here in Musclecat Studios, myself, Hawley, Doss, Jimbo. So make sure you subscribe over on the Outback QB podcast channel as well. Heaps of live stuff coming up in the next few weeks right here on Curt Can't Talk. If you haven't followed on Insta and TikTok and all that sort of stuff, make sure you do. Things are growing. People are watching. We're glad you were here, and we'll see you all next week.